In this video, you'll see how to create a standing order for a book series in WorldShare Acquisitions. This is a simple workflow that allows you to receive volumes in a book series. It does not allow you to encumber funds for these items. However, you can invoice these items and expend those amounts from the remaining balance of a fund. For an alternative workflow, see the video on monographic series. The standing order workflow starts with you making an agreement with the publisher or supplier to send the volumes in a series. Next, you create the standing order in WMS Acquisitions. When you receive a volume in the series, you would search WorldCat for a record for the volume. Most volumes in a book series will have a unique title and ISBN. Next, you add the item to the standing order series that you created in WMS. After adding it to the standing order, you receive an invoice the item. And finally, you would pay the invoice to expend the funds from your budget. To show you how this works in WMS Acquisitions, I'll use this example for the book series, Advances in Global Change Research. So let's say I've placed the standing order with my supplier, and I've just received two volumes, Volume 64, Water and Power, and Volume 66, Himalaya on the Threshold of Change. So to get started, I've logged into WMS and I've selected Acquisitions. First, I want to create the standing order. So I'll click on Orders on the left navigation panel. And then I'll click on Orders again. And then I'll click on New Order. For the order name, I'll use the name of the series, Advances in Global Change Research. For the order type, I'll click the drop down, and then I'm going to select Standing Order. Next, I'll type in the first couple letters of the vendor's name I'm using, Robinson's Books and More. And as I'm typing, you can see the list of vendors that appears. So I'll select Robinson's Books, my vendor that's supplying this series. And then I'm going to click on Save. The system confirms the order has been created, and a new PO number is automatically assigned to the new standing order. Also notice that the status already says Placed. This happens as soon as you create the standing order. You don't actually place the order though, so funds are not encumbered. So now I need to find a bibliographic record for the first volume that I want to add. So I'll go to Discover Items to search WorldCat. So I'll click on the index drop down and I'm going to select the ISBN index. And then you can type or scan the ISBN if it's on the back of the book. And the search box may expand beyond a certain number of characters. So then I'm going to click on Search, or you could just hit Enter on your keyboard. My ISBN search results in 5 records for the title Water and Power. I'm looking for a print record. The second record is the print format, and the publication information seems to match my item. To see the full bibliographic record, you could click on View, Edit Metadata. But let's say I've determined this is the record I want to use. So next I'm going to click on Add To, and then I'll select Order. On the Add Item to Order screen, I'll review the acquisitions type and the processing type. The acquisitions type of one time is correct since this is just a one-time item, it's not a subscription. And the processing type of monograph is correct since this is a single part monograph. Next, I need to find the standing order I created for the series Advances in Global Change Research. So I'll do a search by the order name, which is the name of the book series. And then I'll click on Search. And now you can see the standing order below, ready for me to add this volume. Before I add this volume to the standing order, I'm going to apply an order item template. This is useful when receiving standing order items since you can have the locations populated when you receive the volume and the holdings are added. So I'll click on the drop down for the templates and I'm going to select the WMS Training 2019 template. And now I'm ready to add the volume to the standing order, so I'll click on Add in the Action column. And the system confirms the title has been added to the standing order. I can receive this item immediately by clicking the Receive Item link. This takes me to the Receive an Invoice screen. Now I could just receive the item by adding a barcode, but let's say I also want to add this item to an invoice. So I'll click on the Action drop down, and I'll change the action from Receive to Receive and Invoice. And now I need to create the invoice, so I'll click on New Invoice. I'll enter an invoice number. You can use any alphanumeric characters, or you may want to copy the number of the actual invoice that you received with the volumes. And for the vendor, I'll type in the first couple of letters of my vendor's name, and then I'll select it, Robinson's Books, when it appears in the drop-down. And then finally, I'll click on Save to create my new invoice. So I'll enter the barcode, and it's received. And now if I click the items processed area, I can see the volume has been received, and so it's now available for discovery and circulation. And it's been added to the invoice. Now I want to add the second volume I have, Himalaya on the Threshold of Change, volume 66 in this series, to my standing order. So I'll go to Discover Items again to search for a record. And I'll do another ISBN search. And my search retrieves 7 records. After reviewing the results, let's say I've determined the second record is the one I'll use. So I'll click Add To, and then I'll select Order. And again, on the Add Item to Order screen, I'll review the acquisitions type, which is one time, and the processing type, which is monograph for a single part monograph. The order item template that I selected for the first volume is still selected, so I'll again use that. And the standing order, Advances in Global Change Research, is already available and ready for me to add this volume, so I'll click Add in the Action column. The system confirms I've added this title to the standing order. And now I'll click Receive Item. This takes me to the Receive an Invoice screen. You can see that the vendor and the invoice I created for the first volume are populated in the text boxes. I want to add this title to the invoice also. So I'm going to change the action again from Receive to Receive an Invoice. And when I do that, my title, Himalaya on the Threshold of Change, appears. So I'll add the barcode I'm putting on this volume. And then my title appears in the items processed area. It has been received and the holding has been created, making it available for circulation and discovery. So lastly, I want to go to the invoice to review it and pay it. So I'll click on the link to the invoice. And now I'm on the invoice. I'm going to scroll down. And the budgets and funds and the discount and shipping charges were populated from the template that I applied to these items. But I want to add a unit price for each item. So I'm going to add $40 for the first item. And now I'll add $40 also for the second item. And the system will recalculate the total. Now I'm ready to click on Pay. And the system responds, you're about to pay the invoice. Information will not be editable anymore. Do you want to proceed? And I'll click Yes. The system confirms invoice paid. And now these amounts have been expended from the remaining balances for the fund. If you have questions about standing orders, you can find contact information for OCLC support in your region at oc.lc/support. Thanks for watching.